late and I am stuck. So you got to take over. No.
All right, this is Cullen on Film. I'm Adam Seccafico filling in for Chris Cullen.
Look what I did. Those you love live TV?
Oh, exactly.
Live TV.
Live TV, exactly. Live to tape TV.
Welcome to episode 2, season 2 of Cullen on Film. You like how I didn't do it a long time, so I'm like, season 1's over.
Yeah. So season 2.
We're here with Adam, filmmaker, creator, writer, producer. What do you like to be known as the most? Just director?
Yeah, just director. I feel like I've always put it this way. I'm a writer by trade, director by ambition, producer out of necessity.
We got so many lights in here.
I mean, there's a green screen.
We had flannel day at school today, so I just left school.
Nice.
And then I had to go to the dentist, so I didn't get home, and I'm still in my flannel. I feel like we're back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Bring back the flannel. I love it. So, we finally got you on.
Finally. Took how many years?
All that time that we did on the online during the pandemic.
Yeah, pretty much. But actually, it's funny. I watched Andrew Schwartz's old episode last night. I'm like, let's get ready. Let's see what format of one of these is going to be like. What kind of questions he's going to ask me. So I watched it, and Andrew just moved out to LA a couple months ago. So I'm like,
I did, yeah. I remember when I was out there, and I was like, "Are you out here yet?" He's like, "Not yet."
Not yet.
But now we can go visit him.
We could. I told him, dude, first chance I get, I'm crashing on your couch. And guess what? Because I went to LA in June, and I skimped on the flight because I wanted to just put more money towards, the hotel and the trip. So we flew Spirit.
Oh yeah,
horrible decision.
I'm going to Spirit on Sunday, but it was the price thing.
It was the price thing, but like, how far are you flying?
Going to Vegas.
Okay, so not too different. Yeah. So just bring a book. Plan
no frills, right? No frills.
No frills. Hope you do not have children. We had children on ours. And it was the first time my girlfriend and I got into a fight. I was coming off that plane. She's like, "We're here to pick Spirit." And then
you got to put the earphones on and go to sleep. I sleep the whole time on the plane.
Yeah, no, and then get this. So we get off the plane, go to the rent-a-car place, and it was the inverse of what happened to Clark Griswold's vacation. I got a neon orange Dodge Charger.
Yeah.
And I'm driving through LA in a neon Charger, trying to be as inconspicuous as I can be.
I was out there for a few days, but I knew I was going to stay kind of local, so I did get a car. And I thought, maybe I could handle it. And I did because it was only a couple days. I was really in Hollywood. But then I was like, I want to go to the water. And then that Uber cost a lot. But I still think I saved, though, because isn't renting a car now not cheap anymore?
Nothing cheap.
Yeah. But in LA, if you want to go to different places, you kind of really have to.
You kind of have to, yeah. And we didn't. Honestly, considering the kind of car we had, we only had to fill up one time, which helped us at $7 a gallon out there.
Yeah.
Which do not envy, but
that's why I was like, maybe Uber. It worked out for me.
It did, and I'm sure it balanced out. But yeah, long story short, next time I fly out there, I'm gonna, United, an actual airline, because now I don't gotta worry about car and I don't gotta worry about hotel.
Yeah, that's true. So, is he right there in Hollywood area?
I think he's Glendale. I think is where he said he was.
That's not too bad, right? That's
not too bad. He's not a car. He can drive me around.
Yeah.
That's why one time I was going back from his house because he used to have these tracking screening parties, and my transmission blew at 4:00 in the morning. And I'm like, oh my God. And I keep calling because I was living at home at the time. I called my parents, nobody's picking up. Called my brother, nobody's picking up. It's the worst. And then I remember Andrew and our friend John Bueller were having a very heated discussion about a movie called Burn.
Burn.
It's a Korean film. And I pick up the phone, I'm like, you can't still be up. It's 4:00. I left an hour ago. Rest assured, they were still up and they were still very heated. So Andrew came and picked me up.
Wow.
So I'm used to him driving me around.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to go back out there soon?
As soon as I can.
What'd you do when you were out there?
A little bit of everything. We did 2 backlot tours, Paramount and Warner's. We tried doing the observatory, but my girlfriend and I are both terrified of heights.
Yeah, it's scary because I did it and I kept going up and up and up. And I kept going. I'm by myself. There's no one around. I went all the way up. And then I realized, wait a minute. I got to walk back down.
Yeah, see, we drove up thinking, oh, we'll park at the top,
Yeah.
like sensible people.
Yeah.
And I'm driving, and I'm like not trying to look, and she's like,
It's
honey,
kinda
honey,
creepy.
careful, be careful, be careful.
I went all the way up to. I was level with the Hollywood sign on the other mountain.
Yeah, but that was the one positive was she wants to see a Hollywood sign really bad. It's right there.
It's right there. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's a cool trip. So you were there for a few days.
A few days, and it's funny because honestly, the Warner Brothers backlot tour was great because I actually had stuff you can go. Mind you, it was the middle of strike, so it wasn't like you can go and see sets and actual actors and whatnot. So
or things going on while you walk around. Be cooler.
And I remember just being on the Paramount tour, and this is horrible, and I'm very thankful I don't remember the tour guide's name.
Yeah.
It was a guy who was kind of you can tell, struggling actor trying to, it's just a gig.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I should not feel like I know more than this guy. Like, I pay to learn stuff from you, and he's sitting there and he's stumbling, because a big part of the tour was Robert Evans' Office. Mm-hmm. And it's like, Robert Evans, The Godfather, the film that turned Paramount there. I'm like, well, actually, if you want to split hairs, Rosemary's Baby came first, and that was a big shot in the arm. Then you have Love Story, which gave Evans the cut to go and make Godfather. And my God, why am I telling you this?
You should have just done the tour yourself.
I probably should have. And then
I did the tour there. My tour guy was pretty good. He was pretty thorough, and then I knew stuff too. He was like, "Oh, you know this stuff."
and then meanwhile, there's an adjacent tour, and then I just hear Dorothy Arzner come out of the tour guide's mouth, and I'm like, that tour, she seems like she knows what she's talking about. And then somebody asked him, so what's the strike about? The tour guide just stammers, something about AI. I don't know. I'm like, you live in LA. You should know
and
this stuff.
And if he's an actor, should know this stuff.
Yes, exactly.
What are you doing? All right, so we haven't talked to you on here in ever.
First time.
Let's go all the way back. Well, we had a funny story when we did. Was that your first directing movie when I accepted your award?
Posthumously.
We did your first directorial. Or did you do anything before that?
For the sake of argument, let's say yes. It's my first solo experience.
Yes.
In high school, I worked with my very, very good friend to this day, Mike Masicchia, on a number of horror shorts. Mm-hmm. And then I made one by myself that I think I watched when we were moving out of the house in Alpine. I just threw the disc in the trash and never seen it.
I have a few of those I haven't even watched back yet.
So
you gotta start somewhere.
You gotta start somewhere. So for the sake of argument, even though I'm very proud of the shorts that Mike and I still make, and I think a couple of them still hold up. Especially one called The Casket, which you can see on my YouTube page, which will get all the bugs.
I'm making movies now with my students, so I'm kind of going backwards to that. But I'm teaching them how to do it. We did one the other day, a 1 minute in 2 days time or 1 day's time, a 1 minute, and it was called Doll, and they put me in it. And I'm like, do this, do this, do this, do this. And they're learning it. It's a high school film.
It is. And my brother actually used to do that too because he was in the same video program I was. And I think the year he was in, they had to do a Halloween themed one. So they did Saw theme and they put the teacher in it. I don't think he's. I'm going to ask him when we get finished. We don't have that laying around. Let's do that. Let's play for a teacher.
You should do get, how My Castle's around now. We should rent out the theater and go old school stuff that we did when we sucked.
Oh yeah,
and just watch it with the whole crowd. And be like, this is how we started.
This is how we started.
This is our THX or.
Don't do George like that.
Or Spielberg or The Shave.
The Big Shave.
The Big Shave.
I own that for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I'm a fiscal movie. So Criterion about the sports and shorts of years back. So yes, I technically own The Big Shave. And then there's now going for now. I'm like, what's Big Shaving?
I remember showing that to one year I showed this students. I think it was kind of pandemic. Watch this movie. I'm like, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, look, some of them got it. They got it. They got stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
See that movie if you have it. Go look online right now. Not right now.
Yes.
So did that influence you, or who are your influences?
I mean, starting out, Kevin Smith, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez.
We're on the same page.
Exactly. I feel like those three, for a certain age, those are the three guys.
I think it's I'm a bit older than you, but that was still I was the beginning of that, and I guess they were still around when you were.
They were because
that age.
Yeah, because let's see.
Like Rebel Without a Crew. I read that book. It was one of my
Yeah.
first books I really enjoyed.
Like I read that thing 10 times in high school. You know, I come to filmmaking for a very different point than Rodriguez does because I'm one of those guys. I believe that filmmaking should be collaborative, just out hand. But I'm also not technically proficient enough to do all those jobs.
Yeah.
So I give them a lot of credit, but it's also for me, it's like, where's the fun? Like, where's the, you're sitting around the table going, how are we going to do this? It's like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You're talking to yourself at that point.
And of course, when Pulp Fiction, I saw that movie theater, I was blown away. I'm like, wait, can they do that?
Yeah.
They cut it up like that? It was different. What's going on?
The first time I saw Pulp Fiction was on AMC, so I saw like a different cut and it was censored and it was.
Saw it in the movie theater.
Saw it in the movie theater. And then because I wasn't allowed to watch R-rated movies until I was like 16 years old.
Yeah, that was the point where I was able to go to theater on our own and go.
Yeah.
Even if we were 18 or whatever, 17 at the time, I don't know if we were or weren't, but we still went.
So, but yeah, that was right at the beginning when I could start. So I think I begged my parents for Christmas to give me Pulp Fiction. They're like, Dad's watched it with me, so something Mom's ever gonna watch that with me. Like,
yep. Like I would love to show that at school, but then I'm like, you can't because of the gym.
No, you can't. But I
they sign rated our forms. We sign rated our form. Like,
not you. Can't
it's the gimp. I can't. But the rest of it, I'm like, it's not so bad. But then again, the whole drug thing, it's pretty bad.
It's funny because my phone is across the street, which you have been gracious enough to screen more than a few times.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that in a bit, but like,
you
can see that. You can see that.
I'll just jump ahead and tell a quick anecdote. How I got to what the actual people were doing in that film, I was stuck on. I'm like, wait, it can't be worse than killing dogs because that's killing. So it's got to be something.
Can't kill pets. What are you
can't kill pets, but I did. And I had the whole disclaimer on the film and everything.
Yeah, no dogs are.
Harm didn't know making this film. But I'm stuck on it. So when I'm stuck on something, I take a drive. I had the Pulp Fiction soundtrack on, and the Pulp Fiction soundtrack, of course, has dialogue tracks. And the second it gets to that part of the thing, you just hear, bring out the gimp. I'm like, huh. Human trafficking. That's loathsome and deplorable. How do we use that?
But you do it in a fun way.
Yeah, that's one way to say it.
A humorous way.
Humorous, yes.
Humorous, that's the word.
Though that's still, and we'll get to that, but I'll tell you a funny story about that whole scene.
Yeah, so when we go back to the one you did by yourself, the black and white that you wrote, and then
yes, posthumously yours.
And then we're at the HorrorCon, and I said, and you said, "Oh, I have to go to Garden State," and I'm here, and you messaged me and said, "If I win, can you accept my award?"
Yes.
And I said, "Yeah, sure." And then I was with one of the Hang On Your Shorts guys at the time. I looked at him, and I go, "You win." Ha! That's what I said. I said. And he looked at me, he's like, "You win." I'm like, "Yeah."
Here's a funny sidebar, though. I had no idea I was nominated. Bree, our actor, was nominated. Mm-hmm. And I'm walking around the floor, and I enjoy HorrorCon a lot. I wish
I used to more, so.
I wish the film festival was the films are very well curated. They do a very good job of selecting films.
I heard not as much as so anymore.
Well, 6 of 1, half a dozen, but they used to, or they still do, because I do like those guys a lot.
Yeah.
And I wish they maybe put just have blocks in the can. That's the bare minimum. You can just have blocks.
I do like that Atlantic City screening.
I do, and the one in Edison the venue was nice for the con, not so much for the festival. But I digress. So I'm walking the floor, the movie just let out. I'm making my rounds, and Nelson, our VFX guy, "Hey man, congratulations on the nominations." I'm like, "Eh?" "Yeah, Bree's up for actress." I'm like, "I'm going to Garden State right now. What did they?" And they apparently they did. I just did the website. I'm like, "All right, CJ, hey buddy, look, it turns out posthumously is up for something. I got to go to Garden State right now because I'm a lunatic who's going to do 2 festivals in one day."
We've all done that
at
some point.
At some point, yes. So I'm going to go, from Atlantic City to Asbury, which shouldn't be that far of a trip. But then if you're around, can you please accept the award? Now, the kicker of the story is, tell people at home who was presenting the award that night or who hijacked the best.
Oh yeah, so that was what's his face from
Grieco.
Richard Grieco.
Richard Grieco from 21 Jump Street.
The only problem was he was drinking all day.
So yeah,
There was Ming and Tiffany Sheepus, type, or how do you say that? Sheepus. And then the little guy who took over Warwick Davis's role as Leprechaun. So little person.
Hornswoggle?
Not Hornswoggle. It was a young guy. He's really cool. I get his name off him, but he's also plays the Chucky doll as well. So he does that. So he kind of took over. This small guy. Great guy though. Great guy.
Yeah.
He was awesome. So he's on the stage, and there's Richard Grieco, and he was going to introduce, right? But he just took it. Yeah, hey, F Hollywood, he starts saying.
Because of course he would.
And he starts going nuts, and they announce, best writer, first award, best writer, and they say your name, and I have to get up? I get up there, and I'm up there, and he's taking over, and he's like, congratulations! Like, no, I'm just accepting on my behalf. Congrats! Oh, this is great! He's giving me a hug, and oh, you did a great job, right? He kept going on and on and on. I looked over at Ming, and he just go with it. Just go with it. And everyone in audience knows that I was just accepting on your behalf, except for him.
And of course, that's the one time at HorrorCon I'm like, I should have gone out with you guys afterwards, because boy, would I have stories.
So I couldn't. I didn't have a room, I think, or something. We went after, took photos. I'm sitting here taking photos with everybody. And then we go to the bar over there and just karaoke. So what do? I put the trophy on the bar. It's sitting there all night. Everybody's coming up, oh, congratulations! For like an hour or so. And I'm like, wow. And then I had that thing in my car for like months.
Yeah, it was.
We couldn't meet up or something.
I think it was like a Bright Side or one of those.
The award was this big. Yeah, it's like a great trophy.
I love that trophy. Well, it's probably up there with the stuff.
Was that like your first big win?
Yes, that was. And I'm just like, award. And that's, again, I say it usually half jokingly, but like, look, I'm somebody, I don't believe in awards as much. For me,
they're nice.
It's nice.
I just like to get in.
Same here. Look, so getting into the festival is all the awards you need. But I'm very defensive when it comes down to my actors.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. I remember.
Yeah, I would love my actors. I don't care if I win anything, but my actors would be like, I'd love for them to win.
I would love.
Like Wally, when Wally wins.
When Wally wins, I still want Chris Ross to win something for one of the two films.
Yeah.
Because I know what it would be.
Yeah.
If he does. So, like, don't nominate me. Fine, look, I'm here, I'm passing out business cards, I'm waving, hey guys, how's it going? Great to be making connections. Glad you all love the movie. It would mean the world to that guy. Yeah. So that's kind of where my stance on it.
Like me, even though, like, I've done everything in the industry, and I never won an actor award ever, and I did that one disco fest.
Yeah.
And every fest is like, best director, and I go, can I just get one comedy award? Just once. The last and then Dennis says, this is the last fest we're putting in, and he gets in, and guess who wins? I win. You win. So I was like, son of a bitch, I finally got it. Never again. Never again. That's all I need is one.
All you need is one.
Say I'm an award winning now.
Neither am I, but I'm a filmmaker, and that's as far as I'll go.
Yeah, I consider myself a filmmaker.
Yes.
No matter what I do, or how I'm in the business, or what I'm doing.
Exactly. So, and that was in Rebel Without a Crew. Like, that was like, I think in the first paragraph, Rodriguez said, like, if you even think about making movies, you're a filmmaker. And I'm like, I kind of disagree. You gotta make something first, and both of us have made stuff.
Yeah.
So we're filmmakers.
Yes.
By just a simple fact of we have made things.
I was talking to some students today because they're like, oh, well, like they wanted to take a camera or was buying a new camera, and they go to class talking about cameras. Oh, I got a new camera. It's a Sony and all this and that. We work with Canon. And I'm like, it's like, he's like, why'd you do that? You have all this. Why'd you get a camera? What are you going to do? And he's like, it's an addiction. I go, yes, it is. Oh, yeah. It's an addiction. We just can't leave.
No.
Never. Even if you say you're leaving or you're busy and doing stuff, you always come back.
You always come back. It has a way of
doing. Look at Kevin Smith. He's going to retire, 10 years ago?
I think after Red State, right? After Red State, he's like, I'm out. And then honestly, I've seen Tusk twice this year.
It's really good.
It's really good. Look, I have issues with the third act. I think the Johnny Depp performance is
Yeah, you don't
a
like
lot.
that one. I like it.
Don't, I mean, for me, it's one of those.
I like that. The first time I ever saw it, I didn't realize it was him. That's why I like it.
That's fair, and I was spoiled, unfortunately, because I saw the movie many years after the fact. But I'm gonna say this: it's probably Kevin's best looking film. I think it's shot beautifully. Justin and Justin killed it. Parks killed it. Justice Rodriguez killed it. Helen Joe Osment killed it.
Yeah,
You know,
very strong cast in there.
very strong.
That's
cast,
why he wants to do another one.
And I'm shut up and take my money. That's how I feel that. But it's. I remember just sitting there watching it. Mind you, the first time I saw it was in the bedroom by myself. Seeing it in the theater with a pack of ravenous Smith fans, you feel different because it's infectious. It's a wonderful experience to have, just being around such this ravenous fans for something in it elevates your thoughts in the film.
You feel like it's almost like a family he's formed.
To a
Doing
degree,
all this
yes.
for like, I go to a lot, you go to a lot.
Yeah.
And we go. Ryan is always there in the front.
Yes, and it does. And it's nice when you go, you see a bunch of people like returning. It's got a communal feel to it, and I'm thrilled he did this because.
And then when he put everybody in his movie,
Oh yeah.
that was people that go all the time.
Yeah,
They're
no,
all, I was in extra. That was amazing.
That was.
You missed it.
I came down. I was ready to go, and they're like, "We don't need you."
That's okay. You've seen Kevin. You talked to him. We watched Die Hard with him.
Exactly. Yeah, private screen of Die Hard with Kevin Smith. My God, I can die happy now.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
And he got to see my latest short. And
Yes, that was the biggest part about it. That was really cool.
That was.
I thought they walked out. He was
No,
gone,
he
and
was
then he was in the back
seat.
on the apple. He sits on the apple box in the back.
Yes. And I do kind of wish that we did kind of go more into it, but all I.
That's why I asked him real quick, and I remember he didn't really mention. He said he was going to talk about your film, and then he didn't.
He talked.
And then I asked a question about how did you like his film, like toward the end. And,
because what happened was, I learned how to write screenplays from a 2-in-1 volume of Clerks and Chasing Amy.
That's a great book. I have that book.
And that's how I learned.
Yeah, I got it when it first came out.
Yeah, and I got mine in middle school, and that's how I learned. Oh, this is what screenplay. This is how to format.
That's how you format copy.
And it meant a lot for hey, at the end of the night, just can tag this. And I said
they're two awesome scripts. I mean, they are good scripts.
They are. They're solid scripts. They're amazing scripts. But at the end of the night, and I kind of come at it the same way he does. I look at myself as a writer first before director because people don't know this, but directors it's never your first job. You always come at it from a different perspective. Most as writers, because you're controlling the story, you're controlling the narrative. Some as editors, some as cinematographers, some were art directors. And I always approach filmmaking as a writer first, because that's what I do best out of everything, creative.
Because of that, when you're directing, you pretty much don't have to edit as much because you know what you want. If you wrote it and you're directing it.
By and large, yes, but here's also the funny thing, at every table read that I do, after we're done with the first read, I'll just go, all right, guys, it's just words on the page. How can we make this better? And that's why I love working with Chris Ross so much, because Chris Ross comes with ideas. Chris Ross will come and he'll be like, I have 5 things I want to do. And he'll go in depth and why and how and what his motivations are. I'll be like, that's great, man. Then from that, you continue building the characters together.
Now your latest one doesn't have words, but it is a script.
Yes, it is.
It's reactions.
Yes, it is.
That's not easy to do.
No, it's not. I love all 3 of them. I love making Dead Fish. I'm very proud of what it was, but that's probably the best directing I've done because the script was so rudimentary.
Yeah.
It was a laundry act.
So it's more concentrated on the directing.
It was in the script it said the fisherman's called Marvin because I believe he just didn't know the character.
Yeah.
And it was Marvin does this. The fish shows up. Marvin gets mad. Marvin leaves. Marvin goes back to another part. The fish shows up. Marvin leaves. It was a lot of that, and I had to find a hook because, in my opinion, I've had conversations with a lot of my collaborators. Let's say I give that script to you, that movie comes out completely different than when. If I give that to my producing partner Bob Klein, it's a different film than what I. Greg Jolly, Frank Nutzi, Andrew Schwartz, John Buell, all of them. Cool one. Alessandro, my friend Alessandro.
I know all those guys.
Yeah. I gave that script to them. It's a completely different project.
Yeah.
Which is why I remember when I found my hook into the film, which was Bugs Bunny on the Fun.
You know, it'd be really funny if we did a challenge, same script, and we all did teams and made.
I thought about
the movie. See how different we all make it.
I think there was no 4th of July. We went to Frank's, and I'm not sure if it was Frank or Greg that suggested that, but that was a challenge out for it. Where it's like somebody just write a very basic, here's one scene, 2 characters, just mattering dialogue.
You know how they have the festivals have like 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours.
Yes.
Do this contest instead. Give us 72 hours
to make
same script,
and see what you do with it. It's funny because that's
different actors or same actors.
Same actors. You know, I feel terrible for those actors.
I know they'd have to do it all different ways.
All different ways.
Times, and different directors and losing it. It's like making the movie 4 rooms.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's different actors though in each thing.
Exactly.
But, so I wonder what movie, or Richard Donner versus
Richard Lester.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Donner. Donner won.
Yeah.
But it's funny you bring up the 48s because that's how the team that Bob Klein. Let's be honest here, it's mostly Bob. It's always been mostly Bob. Mm-hmm. But how we as a team kind of culminated, it was through the 48-hour film festival.
Yeah.
And that was the first time we all worked there. We worked on this film that is the first and only time I'll ever act in a film. After that,
you acted, yeah.
I acted. It was called Another One Bites the Crust. And it was a movie about a clown that committed a murder.
Yeah.
And I played a clown. I wrote the script, and mind you, it's a 48, so you know how you get very galaxy brain, especially by when 4 o'clock in the morning you have no idea.
They're fun, but sometimes they turn out great. Sometimes they're like.
Exactly, and this was one of those examples of me and Bobby Carter with the guys. We haven't spoken in a while, but good dude he used to work with. It's me and him in the room, just literally, we're making each other just laugh with sheer ridiculousness of the premise. And I'm like, I should play the coked out. I'm playing the coked out. I'm playing this part. I've had many miserable experiences on sets. That was bad.
Yeah.
That was. Oh God. And after that, I'm like, you know what? No, I'm good.
I love the parts acting. I love acting, but not like huge roles.
No, I get that.
I like to steal a scene.
Like the bartender role.
The bartender role.
Yeah,
I like to steal the scene.
Yeah.
Just the 1 minute scene.
Yeah,
there he is.
Yeah,
there he is. I was in one of Mark Wahlberg's films, and it was a fun scene. But every time, people know we were in, it wasn't a funny scene, but every time, we were in it was a darker film, and every time it would play, and I'd come on the screen and do my little, "Hey, you get away from my son!" like that, and everyone would laugh because people knew who I were in the audience, and he hated that. He's like, "Why? That's not supposed to laugh at that. It's seriously." I took it serious. I was serious in it. I was not funny.
No, but you can't help
laugh.
that reaction.
And every time I knew people, and they always laugh. And he's like, "Oh, son of a..."
Exactly. But that's when you have, again, the community that is in North Jersey kind of independent at the moment.
Yeah, watch it somewhere else. No one knows.
Yeah, we just started playing Dead Fish. Actually, we played a couple of festivals in the city, which was nice because it was different. And I was nervous about those. So they don't know us.
Yeah. But it is cool though when you don't know anyone at all, and then they compliment.
Exactly, and they don't know, and then that's the best reaction you get when they're literally. I remember at the end of Dead Fish when what happens to Chris, they literally threw babies in the air. It's how excited they got. They loved it, and I'm just like, we did it, we did our jobs.
Did you ever go to a screening where someone shouts out "Why did the director do that? That sucks." And you're sitting like that.
Honestly, I wish
that would happen. You're like, "I'm here, people."
Because I remember
some people have big mouths.
We talked about The Room.
Because it's kind of The Room situation.
Because it played at Smart Castle, and it's terrible mistake of picking Tasha to go see the room.
No,
Completely blind, did not watch a trailer, did not know.
did not know that.
And
Did anyone throw spears?
I think maybe one person, but poor Grace's Sarah, she was just grilled him like, they might not know what he was, and she was so perplexed. And I remember I was telling
She was grilling Kevin that night too.
No, Kevin wasn't there.
No, not that night. When we with Kevin, she was grilling him a little bit.
She was.
No, we're not grilling. Question.
And he loved every second of it.
Yeah.
And she loved every second of it.
Yeah.
It's like, I now
It
know
was a whole
things.
back and forth. It was funny.
It was great. But that Greg, she just kept going at him, and deservedly so. But then I remember talking to Andrew about it a couple.
What did you say? Like the movie was horrible?
No, it was beyond that. It was a state of perplexion on her part.
I never heard of this, never seen this, and boom, go right at her.
Exactly. Just like what? Again, what were you? It was a lot of like, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Who is this man? Your typical like the first time you ever see the room kind of question.
Yeah.
And
was he answering?
He was. He was answering to the best of his abilities. And I think at one point he just said like, "Look, we all agree with you. We all know it was shit, but it was a job for us. We didn't know he was gonna get this thing.
Yeah.
And we all know Tommy's nuts. We told him he was nuts several dozen times. He wouldn't listen. There's one person on this planet that's really makes sense to him, and that's Tommy Wiseau. But to make a long story short, afterwards I'm talking to Andrew about it, and joking about how like if that was my first date, she would have probably left me. And she showed her if that was our first date. And he laughed, and I laugh at that now, and I want to know what moves to take my girlfriend to and what to give her a heads up on. There's a very valuable lesson like that.
That's funny. You didn't
But
tell me.
I did not tell her.
That's great.
But I'm talking to Andrew. Andrew goes, man, no. If I was Tommy, like, I wouldn't know what I would do with myself, because if I poured my heart out and like they rejected my movie like this, I don't know what I'd feel. I'd be like,
it was almost like even in the movie that he did about the movie, and like
exactly.
you see his reaction, like he was serious. He wanted this to be a serious
He was
movie,
in
and people were
tears
laughing.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, it's funny.
Yeah.
And went with it.
And went with it. After a little bit. Yeah. But I told him, like, dude, if I get that lucky to make the movie that had that big of an impact that like 20 years after that we're still talking about it.
Still on the screen, still signing.
Exactly. I'll happily. So if somebody's in my ripping my movie basically, I'd be like, good for you, man.
Funny thing is, Greg made another movie with him recently, the
Best
Friends
Best
movie.
Friends, yeah. That I haven't seen.
I haven't seen it yet either. I was going to, because it was during all that time. It was out at the right time, I guess.
Yeah.
But I wonder how bad that was.
I'm sure, look, nobody's talking about it, so it's probably like that in different ways. It's like safe to say. And now apparently
he's in it. He's not the best actor.
And apparently he's making another movie. You heard that, right? Tommy's making. Somebody gave Tommy Wiseau more money to go make another movie.
Like gave him so is Greg part of that too, or?
I think Greg is. At this point, they're kind of tied up in that.
Yeah.
And look,
nervously so, I guess.
I'll give Greg credit. Yeah, I'll give Greg credit. Like he's very understanding about the whole situation, and it's good to have friends like Greg. Like Greg's just right there when they're going into his friend down, like he's taking.
Yeah, so that's interesting with all that. So it'd be funny if you came up with some kind of film that lasted 20 years, like you said.
It would, and that's look. You can't control the audience thing, so all you can do is the best you can, and hope that they like it. Look, I'm fortunate now. This is 3 shorts, and so far, look, have I gone to every festival I wanted to? No. In fact, that's just how rejection from 10 straight festivals.
You did?
Rejection's part of the game now.
It is. You gotta get used to it. But it's just the feel of the people watching it. You get mad first. Like I put something in the Dances with Films in New York, something that I did, not the students. And it didn't make it.
I know, and you go like,
I wanted to go, but whatever.
No, the funniest one though out of all was it was a festival in LA, which one of they sent me a promo code for next year's festival.
Yeah.
And said, yeah man, the movie was really good, but like you need a really scary score to really make it thrilling. And I wanted to back like, this is a comedy.
Yeah. It's kind of scary movie.
Like, I don't make like I guess elements are scary, but like my whole thing has always been, I was terrified of everything going on. I was mortified. Like that, everything scared me. So when I got to a certain age where I can make the scary stuff funny, that's
Yeah,
what I
you
did.
make the scary stuff funny. Like go across the street, reminds you of the Burbs.
It is the Burbs.
Yeah, but
Made Joe
it's a
Dante
horror
never see
comedy.
that film. I, I,
It's a horror-
it is. It's absolutely hard. And I joke, but it's funny because I remember this is Bob when Bob lived with me. I decided, I'm gonna watch the Burbs. It's been a couple of years. 'Cause
Yeah.
The Burbs was the impetus for Kill. I watched that movie at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I went, I make movies like this.
Not anymore.
And I went, I'm a filmmaker. I can make a movie like this. Who says they can't make movies like this? I can. Show me the snow where that's written. And so we went out and we made Killer. So I'm sitting there it's Bob and I were watching The Burbs, which he told me do not watch. I'm like, I'm not going to watch. You don't watch it because we don't want to do something that was too similar.
Yeah.
The scene where they break into the house is, with the exception of one of them running into the door, is beat for beat what you see in Color Picture. And Bob just looked at me and goes, you pretty much just did this movie, you know that, right? And I'm like, did it my way though. And
yeah, did it your way.
Yeah, it's not like Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher were doing something worse than the Clopex.
But it's just, the feel of it was a feel of the Burbs, and that's it. It was just
Yeah,
a
it was
feel.
a feel. It was also feel of their windows.
Yeah. And you can mix other
Yeah,
80 horror comedy stuff in there somehow, somewhere.
And the funny thing too was like, I do love Wally's performance in the film because it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good character.
And the thing about that character is, and Wally honed in on this, that character is an act. That character has nothing to offer society whatsoever. This poor wife who's usually like the skull that you're like, oh, leave the guy alone, he's just funny. By the end of the movie, you're like, oh, I get why she was that way with him because he doesn't know what to do. He's like, are you gonna find a job? He can't find a job. Where are you gonna give that guy? and Wally, to his credit, found that in the character, and he made that thing 10 times funnier than than it was on the page.
Yeah. That's fun. So you have the 3 that you did by yourself.
3 that
you directed by yourself.
Yeah, Posthumously Yours, The Killer Across the Street, Don't Drink Fish.
And before that, you said you collaborated.
Well, I still collaborate.
Yeah. You got any collaborations? I know you're not going to be doing anything for a while. You said you're working on stuff in the future,
Yes.
but is there anything right now that you're collaborating with?
I just finished the feature film script with my friend John Bulley that we're trying to shop around. I just finished a short before I got here, actually.
Cool.
Look, I'm always right. And whenever I have like long spurts of block, I'll just tweak and tweak.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, oh, I'm right. Probably not how it is.
Yeah.
It's like you're banging your head going like some idea. Because I don't believe in forcing ideas. Because like that's how bad stuff happens, where you're like, I don't actually believe in this thing, but maybe just maybe. But the problem I'm having now is like the ideas are getting too big. Like the reason
feature.
not even featured. My shorts are
$1
getting
million. $2 million.
like the reason I landed on Dead Fish, which was a script I wrote during the pandemic after a run-in with an actual dead fish. The reason why that came next was because we had this other script called Ghost Bride Manor that I am still very, very proud of.
That was just too big.
It was too big. It was a lot of characters, and we had the film cast, and there was a couple of people in that cast I'm like, I was dying to work with that. Alan Rowe Kelly being one. I really wanted to work with her. Sophia, I really, from Greg's film, been a while. I've always wanted to work with her. And we had the film cast, and we're doing locations, and we're just sitting there going. And mind you, before we spent actual money, we spent $100 on concept art, which I still have and looks amazing.
Cool.
But it just it kept getting bigger and bigger. And for me, short films are a learning exercise.
Yeah.
You hope one catches fire, you hope one takes off, and somebody's like, oh man, yeah, I loved it, come do this other thing.
Yeah, do this, make a feature out of this or something.
Exactly, but by and large, it's the learning tool for when you make the bigger project. And it broke my heart, but I had to pull the plug. It was going to be an astronomical amount that and here's the funny thing. I recently reopened that script.
Yeah.
And then I got the bug again. And then I'm like, let me sit down and see if I can. And it was
Can you do it? You can do it on a low,
And-
low.
And the funny thing too is, I thought about doing like, all right, let me cut the amount of characters down. Now the movie deals a lot with Ghost Bride lore, because every culture, every whatever has their own kind of take on the Ghost Bride. And as a result, we had a very big cast. Not a lot of big parts, but like enough to where everyone's going to shine. And I thought, well, can I just do like the two main brides and kind of do my spy versus spy thing? And Bob told me aside, it's like, you're not going to decide here. You have a really strong script here that unfortunately all that money it needs it, and you'll be doing a disservice to yourself and to the people who make the film if you cut the guts out of it.
It happens sometimes with some of those.
Yeah, it does. It's frustrating, but that's again, Pivot unfortunately had something like that fish laying around where I'm like, I can make this for a little bit less, even though making that fish was insane because that was the first time I thought we weren't going to finish the film.
Really?
That was the closest because I would not advise aspiring young filmmakers who are listening to this podcast currently. We shot without permits,
No way.
which I think the statute of limitations, and I will not say where we filmed.
Sometimes you can get away with it, but you're kind of like, you're in a lake, you're in a...
Exactly, and we found one location that was, we were told, like, look, it's a small crew, just stick to this place, you'll be perfectly fine.
Unless maybe you didn't have any students working there, and you're like, oh, I'm a student filmmaker.
Yeah.
Here's my card.
Exactly. Maybe in the future we'll hire an actor.
Hey, guys.
Anybody ask your director. I've never seen this man before in my life.
We're doing a student film.
But, so we get there day one, and it's like Mad Max going on. They're doing drag races in the park. A bunch of students have set a bonfire. It's crazy, and we're the one thing that the park rangers can control.
Yeah.
So it's the one thing they come after. They come after the film. Guy runs like, you're not supposed to be here. And we had to break down everything and go, and we reconvened at the train station in Tuxedo. And Bob and I both projected, man, we're finished. We rented these lenses. Is there something we can shoot? Like maybe we're gonna on the fly write a short about Chris Ross trying to fix our fireplace. We're gonna shoot that in the day. And Jake Archer, who was the MVP of the shoot, said, wait a minute, I think I know a place. Give me an hour, I'll go ahead, we'll all take our lunch early. And he found a place, to his credit, and that place actually did leave us alone. We finished the film, and
You need like a private property, like people like, go away.
Yeah, go ahead, dude, go ahead. In hindsight, maybe because it wouldn't have been right. It needed to be out in nature. Look, in the film, I'll say this: it's the most beautiful thing Bob shot. At least of the three that he shot for me. I think it's those landscape shots are incredible. Especially like when we watched this Monte Castle. It was that wonderful projector they had.
Nice. Yeah, that's another thing. You got to play in the big room.
Got to play in big,
the big projector, the nice one. So you made it out.
Yeah, I made it out, and it was nice too because that was the first time Robbie, our editor, that's the first time he got to see him in the theater. Nelson hadn't seen it yet either. Tasha hadn't. She had seen rough cuts, but she hadn't seen it like in the theater, like with the whole experience.
That was an experience.
It was, and it was nice that
to open for Die Hard.
You got to open for Die Hard. You got to open for the movie that made me want to make movies.
Was.
Yeah, but also somebody who got me into filmmaking, inadvertently, but still got me into filmmaking. Got to sit, do something, and he done something I made.
And also, he knows you now.
And also, he knows my first name and he knows I make movies.
Yep.
It's not like we're pen pals.
No, well,
but yeah,
he knows a lot. He has to know a lot of people. So
I know
how it is. When we get older, we forget people's names and stuff, but you still know people.
I get it. And look, I've been coming to the theater for a year at some point in time.
He still calls on you first all the time when you have a question. So there you go.
And that's because I literally think about what I'm going to say well before the show. It's like, all right, what am I seeing? This. I'll think of like 3. And these people work. This one might. This one. And I always go. And that's a beautiful thing too, getting this under that learning tree. because I either feel like I've learned something brand new, I've had something I believed in kind of reinforced, like, all right, if he's doing it and he thinks that, then clearly I'm doing something right. Or, and by and large, I just have a good time every time I go. You know, by and large.
It should be a good time tonight. We're going over to see
Russo Brothers. That's going to be. I'm curious how that one's going to go. It's like it's weird because of like
just the conversation.
The conversation, but it's also like it's a different kind of filmmaking too, where it's like this is all the stratosphere that like we could. And it's funny because I saw Scorsese at.
Did see that? Yeah. Were you? Was that a picture? You were way up.
I was way up, and actually Ryan was at the screen too.
Oh wow!
And it was a screen, it was a conversation, but
conversation. You know,
yeah. And that was incredible. Like
just some of these filmmakers, you just sucked in. That night when we were watching Die Hard, Kevin just had me sucked in.
You did.
I just sat there because there's 2 hours go by and I'm still listening and talking.
Exactly. And
I feel like
it's funny though because, and I'll say this about the Scorsese conversation. The only thing I didn't relate to him saying was the story about De Niro pulling him out of the hospital to go make Raging Bull.
Yeah.
And like kind of kicking the screen because Marty did not want to make Raging Bull.
He didn't want.
He didn't want it. And he's like, I almost died. I was in the hospital, and he's being very coy about it. I'm just like, he had a cocaine-induced attack. That's my cat. And De Niro like went to the hospital and was like, "You're doing this movie." Bobby, I don't want to make this movie. This guy said, "Why are we making this?" And he pulls out. Go make one of the greatest films ever made. That's the one story I'm like, yeah, I can't. You got me beat there.
That's a good filmmaker. I wouldn't have. Have you ever seen this new one?
Oh yeah,
it's
loved it. Loved it.
Which box office it's okay. Not doing it costs a lot of money,
but box office
is solid. Really.
It's a great.
It's an epic, solid.
But the movie was made to stream on Apple, so yeah. And I'm getting kind of frustrated with the whole box office thing because like. Right now, I'm sure how Apple and Paramount
should go see it. I know it's 3.5 hours.
Absolutely,
I didn't feel like it.
Absolutely.
Go see it. This is a movie of a movie. It's a movie.
Yeah. Look, 3.5 hours felt like 2.5. It literally felt like 2.5. And that's,
you get sucked in.
And that's incredible pacing for a movie that long. Incredible. You feel like there's an hour less. But you're like, all right, I feel like it was long, but I didn't feel like it was my entire day.
It's just such a good story that you get sucked in and you just. Right. Into it.
And people by and large are, because I check the box office, if not every day, at least every weekend. And it's that weird thing of like, I think people are still going, but studio heads have to learn that not every movie can make $1 billion.
Yeah.
It can't. And look, Marty at this point in time can make anything he wants for whatever budget.
Yeah.
He's kind of earned that right. It's now he kind of enters that twilight period. But like you look at like Five Nights at Freddy's made $80 million this weekend.
Yeah.
And where's everybody like championing that? Like I haven't seen the film, so I can't say one way or the other. But but like it's like it feels like every other week. This movie's gonna save the movies. That's people are still going. It's just the movies cost too much.
Some of them are good.
And some of them are good, but it's been a very weird movie because this was the first year I feel like I didn't feel as compelled to go to the theater in my own right. That's because I saw like kind of two stinkers right out of that.
But it's also hard for like a romantic comedy to do well nowadays. Like so, you have to have a low budget film come out and hopefully make some money.
But like
unless it's Avengers,
but like here's the thing about the rom-com: don't shoot like a fucking sitcom.
Yeah, I know some of them aren't really cheesy, but I mean the classics like Say Anything.
Say Anything was shot incredibly well.
Yeah.
When Harry Met Sally, Barry Sonnenfeld shot that.
Cameron Crowe doesn't make that many movies.
And Cameron Crowe kind of
directors today are TV directors. They make features.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Cameron Crowe also fell. Unfortunately, for as great as like Say Anything, Jerry Maguire are and Singles are, well, hostile.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of happened with John Hughes too. Like he was classic, and he's done.
But I feel like he got burnt out.
But then he was writing pen names.
Yeah, exactly. But that was also, I watched somebody put like a YouTube video, like it was like a half an hour ago.
Yeah.
On as a perspective for John Hughes, and it's because he was writing so much at his heyday. It's like even when he stopped completely, it's like There's still like 50 scripts circulating.
Yeah.
Like, and it's
And they
insane.
kept changing his name. He too.
Yeah, because he's like, don't put my name on that. I literally wrote that in 2 days. Just give me a different name.
Yeah.
And also, like, have you seen Curly Sue?
Yeah, of course. I know the girl.
You do?
Too.
I've never seen it.
We were out in. I saw her in LA when I was out there. Went to her show. She's a singer now.
Yeah, because when I was living at home, I was subjected to, like, you know, The Voice and the live.
Yeah, she won The Voice.
She won The Voice, yes.
So I was there, and on my pages, a photo with her, and we were talking for a little bit about acting as a child actor and then coming and doing all this now. And she's really cool.
She seems it. But, like, what did you think of the film? Do you think that was a worthy enough final film for use?
Was that the final film?
That was the final film we directed.
It wasn't worthy as a final, but it was during the time when he was pumping them out. I think it was a good film. Like James, I mean, I was also a kid too. I was the same age. I was 2 years older than that girl.
Really?
I mean, I'm her age. We're the same age ish.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah, around there. I mean, so I was a little bit older.
Yeah.
Watching these movies, and so I was like, you know, all the Parenthood kids, because Leonardo DiCaprio he's a little bit older than me.
Yeah, that's insane to think of.
So yeah, so it's like it's weird. He's a little bit older than me, so much in like Growing Pains.
And there he is.
And there he is. And like I could play that part, and he is.
Yeah.
Didn't know at the time, but he was also in the TV show.
Yeah.
Not the film. It's weird because in the movie Parenthood, you ever seen Parenthood?
I know.
It is playing the part that Leo played on TV was Joker.
Heath Ledger?
No.
Oh no.
Joker now. The Joker.
Joaquin
Phoenix. So Joaquin Phoenix played the part in the movie. Leo played the same part on the television show Parenthood back then. It's just so weird.
It is, man.
And I looked at the two huge, humongous stars. It's a different world. And I tell my students all the time, like when I grew up, I would come home from high school, from middle school or high school, and turn on MTV and watch videos. Those directors who did videos then are the ones we're watching now, making these feature films in there. A lot of them made it big. I mean,
Venture. Venture's the Pictures of Golden Boy of that.
So quite a bit of them. Are making movies now. Like, oh yeah, they started out making music videos. They did this and this. I mean, what's his name did Thriller?
Landis.
Thriller. I mean, that was different because he was already.
He was already.
He kind of went that way, but there was a lot of no names
Because
who became big.
I'm trying to place that because when that dropped, pre or post, because Coming to America was 88. Blues Brothers
I think it was, so it was before that. So it was 84, right?
It was 84. So it was right after Trading Places.
Yeah.
So he was like one of the biggest directors on the planet.
Yeah, so that was a different take and going backward. But it was like a movie. It was epic. Really was a movie in itself that was like 20 minutes.
Yes.
It was a short film.
It was a short film.
Short film before the short films.
Well, short films were always a thing.
They were always a thing. I mean, they were a thing to start out.
Yeah, they were.
The first narrative film in 1903 was a short film.
Exactly.
I mean, the Great Train Robbery right here.
Yeah.
That's history.
Yeah.
Kids are like, I always rattle out, like 1903, and when this Porter at Edison Studios, the Great Train Robbery is 12 minutes long. And they're like, what? I was like, this was Hollywood. This was the original Hollywood.
Did
New Jersey.
Have you been to the Barrymore Center yet? In Fort Lee.
No, I haven't.
No, they just opened a new museum, and obviously, got Lionsgate come here, Netflix come here. So, because that's the thing. It's like it feels like New York is too cluttered. So,
and it was always expensive here in New Jersey and now the tax breaks are better for film, so that's why they're coming back. I mean, they used to be Law and Order used to like years ago. The TV studios used to be in like Jersey City area and all that, but they left.
Right, and then obviously throw a stone in North Jersey. Hey, it's Crown shot here.
Now they're all coming back. So right here, right down the road this way, is Netflix.
Perfect.
Love it. Now we just need contracts. And then we have to knock on the door every day and say, we got another idea.
Just do Doctor Strange, just stand outside, hours, like for days on
Every
end,
day,
really
like
let
a
you in.
different script.
Yeah,
I got an idea.
you don't like that one? I got like 18 more.
So now that you said you're collaborating and you're writing something, are you going to start filming again soon or no?
Depends on the project. Like, it's weird because I've been feeling some career angst recently. I mean, who doesn't? Because, like I said, the ideas are getting bigger, and I'm starting to feel kind of a sense of Groundhog Day. I'm not sure if you ever felt that.
Of course.
Yeah. Where it's like, make it short, everybody loves it, hey man, great, great, wonderful. Get to a bunch of festivals, great, great. Can't quite break through. All right, make another short. You gotta stay in the game.
Same thing.
Same
Places.
thing. And just, it's, 3 times in, and I'm like, I kind of want to start making money doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at some point in time, to steal free from, clerks, share it out the pot.
Yeah.
And because I remember, like, I would kind of roll my eyes whenever anybody brought up the feature. Because, look, that's the end goal. That's what we're all moving towards making features. But everybody made it sound like it was this holy grail. All right, yeah, you can make a feature now. And I'm sitting here going, I feel like I need to make a feature as a way to stay in. Because at some point in time, like, I can't.
You have to do it.
I have to do it. I rip the Band-Aid off.
Me too. I never directed.
Yeah, it's very few people have.
It's time, but I haven't directed a short in a while either. So it's coming soon, by the way. I'm coming back.
Excellent.
Yeah.
When you shoot it, or you?
It's not. Well, I'm working on a deal where something I did not write. Someone else wrote it. Let me know, and I'm probably gonna step in as the director. Some actors that I wanted to work with.
Nice.
And that's the thing. Like, I've known these people for so long, all these other people, and like, I want to work with this person. I never get the chance.
Here's the funny thing. I've always wanted to watch somebody direct a script. This is a learning experience to be like, all right, what am I doing right, wrong, like that? Let me take myself out of the equation.
I've done it once before. A small time.
Right. But I just, because I feel like that would be a decent learning experience where it's like, here you are, dude. Don't worry about me. You can ask me any question you want, but like it's your rodeo. Do with it what you want.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I wanted to see what you do with my story.
Exactly. And I'm also like a relatively thick skin in that regard. Like I'm not gonna like do this.
Yeah, got another one.
Got another one.
Got more ideas. Never ends. Our brains keep going.
Exactly. Bob once put me best linking them to sharing scripts and like being overly protective. He's like, I guess I'm fucking one. Just write one.
Yeah, just like me when I was a kid, I had written a script in college because I heard two people told me their story. And I wrote a script about two guys in Red Bank though that got together and crashed. And I went to the same company, and they said no.
You said no, and then next thing
And
you know,
then
5 years later.
Not even like 3 years later, and I saw the preview, and I was like, I was with some people that knew and read my story, and knew my story, and they're all looking at me. Then the preview came up for the movie, because I had no idea until the preview, and it said Wedding Crashes, and they're all looking at me. I'm like,
What row?
what? I go, what company? And they're like, and they said the company name, and I go, yeah. I emailed them this script.
Please tell me you had some sort of copyright on it.
I was in my 20s. And I did.
All right.
I told everyone on set. I was still on set with Kevin, filming all that. I told everyone. So people back then know my story. Then this was before Wedding Crashers was about. Now you watch the movie. They took the idea and they gave it to other writers, and they wrote it. So they had nothing to do with my story, but it was about two guys that crashed wedding parties. So everyone has the same ideas, but you got to copyright it, and you got to hold on to it. And if I did, maybe I'd hold some water, maybe not, because everyone has ideas.
But it's also like, to some degree or another, like you said, it was an idea. Like, was there any like treatment, any kind of?
Oh yeah, I said the treatment. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's long gone. It's long gone. But you know what? It's just I could probably. This has been so long. I could probably tweak it and come out with something that's sort of the same thing and the way I had it. Mine was one night.
One night.
Not the Bumble. It was one night, two weddings. That's what we used to do.
I get it.
Over here at the Molly Pitcher Inn, if you go over there, they had weddings, and we would go to the bar in the middle and just go, and then our buddy would be playing piano at the bar, and we'd dress up. Like I would dress like this all the time, but then we would dress up.
You'd like rent a tux or something like that,
and then we would go and we'd hang out at. And it was a fancy bar. The drinks were not too. But then they're like, oh, and we just walked in. No one knows who you are. And I heard it because other people I knew didn't. I was at a wedding, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not supposed to be here. We weren't invited. We knew the people, but we're like." And then they went over to the other side. There was another wedding, and they just walked over and went over to the other wedding. And I was like, "This is not real." And then now it is because they did that movie. But I mean, I would love to see a sequel, and it was funny. And I did meet the writers of it, and I told them my concept, my thing, and they're like, "It's a tough break, kid."
Yeah.
And I was like, they're like, it happens all the time.
Yeah, write more.
Yeah. So, but I didn't know. I didn't know what the hell to do then. I was in my early 20s.
Yeah, I'll give it to individuals. I'll never go to like a place where I'm intern and go like, "Oh, you got this stuff." I'm secretive in that sense.
It might still be in the USQ office sitting there, my script.
Is it still? We could go right now.
Maybe. I wrote another one that I dropped off right at college. Like, so I worked with them. Year at college, wrote a script. It wasn't that good,
right?
But it was good concept, good ideas and stuff. And I brought it right up to this to them in the office. And of all people, Brian Johnson. I don't know if you know Brian Johnson. So he directed Focus. Brian, I just got my first script. And if you know Brian, and I know him, I love him. I love how he is. And he's so funny. He's like the funniest guy. So any other person would be angry at a person. I go, oh, look at my script. And he's outside. We're outside the streets of Red Bank. He's looking through my script. He's going through. We're right by the street, right in the sidewalk. He's looking. He goes, any sex in it? I go, no. And he takes it, he throws it into the street. The car comes by. Any other person would be devastated. I was crying and laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, who would do that?
Yeah, who would do that?
I was dying. I was like, that's so funny. I'm like, you gotta write something like this. But you can't write anything like that because Brian is Brian.
Yeah.
And then I go upstairs and there's a table and I'm in the VSQ office. And, they all know me at this point then. And Kevin's not there. And I remember I had this script and Q, Ryan Quinn was there. He was working there. And I said, I got the script. I want to show him. He goes, throw it over there. There's just a pile of scripts on the table. And I go, really? He goes, yeah, put it over there. I put it over there. I go, is he going to read it? He goes, no.
No. That's the out pile.
He goes, no. Just these guys. Like, and I still, I see Brian sometimes. And both Brians, I see him. And I love them both. And that day, I couldn't stop laughing. I'm laughing downstairs. And when he said it, those two are like the two funniest people I seriously have ever met. And they're just naturally funny. And this was before they were Brian Johnson was on like Mallrats at the time. It was before.
Before they owned the store.
Yeah, no, they had it. It was down on Mama Street at the time. But it wasn't. It was like after Chasing It around that time. So a year after Chasing It. No, about a year and a half after Chasing It around that time. So, but nobody knew who he was at that time, obviously. He was just working there, but he was naturally funny. So when that show came out that he's in, and you're just like, oh my god, yeah, I could see that. There should be a movie with him playing. I guess he did a movie playing himself, but I don't know. But he's funny. The two of them together, funny. But if you listen to their podcast, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Tell them Steve did.
I feel like that's an older one, right?
They've been doing that forever.
And he's still going.
Still they have their office is over on 36, and this is way back when. But that was just one day of me bringing my script to the VSQ office because I was so proud I wrote a script, and I get thrown, and then twice I got it thrown on a table, thrown in the street, and then you go back to it now, and it's like, listen, concepts were good.
Concepts like I have 2 scripts. I'm like, I love the ideas. Reread, like, oh god, this guy was young. He had no idea. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, if you had like anything you could of yours that you could do right now, just in layman's terms, kind of pitch, like, what would it be?
So I did the script a long time ago, and it changed many times. But it was just I wanted to make someone 2 people stuck in a wine cellar.
Oh shit!
And you know where I came up with the concept many years ago was a movie which I love. This Can't Hardly Wait. And they get stuck in the bathroom. 2 people would hate each other. Seth Green and Laura Ambrose. And even though I love that movie, other than those 2, I love the movie. Other than that, I love all parts of it. It's just a party. Yeah. It was like a totally later the 90s, 2000s, and just everything about it was just so much fun. The way that they did it was just amazingly done and funny. And the actors are amazing. If you go back and holy crap, he's in it, she's in it.
Exactly. It's one of those like my film of that ilk was Scott Pilgrim growing up, where everybody became somebody out of it.
But I just took that scene. I'm like, man, what if someone that I'd love to hate.
Yeah.
What if we fell in love because we were stuck all night on a wine cellar? We hated each other's guts for years, and then we started like saying our real feelings. We've known each other since kindergarten, but we hate each other. Always hated each other, but not really. It's just never the right time until they're stuck together all night in a wine cellar drinking. But while that was going on, I had like their best friends wanted them to get married, so they wanted to be the best man. And they hate each other, so they locked them in the wine cellar to get along, and they got more than along. While upstairs they threw a party. They were having a party for their engagement with people. So there were other things going on and some other people party, but it was mostly focused downstairs. But they were breaking up upstairs. So it was a flip.
You can make that. You can totally make that.
I know, it was real simple to make. And I did little excerpts of it, little pieces, and I did a short film that had a little opening beginning to it. It just didn't work out.
Right.
But I would do that because it's simple and it's such a strong acting, I guess, more character-based acting. I want to work with actors that can kill it.
Of course, who doesn't?
So I'm not worried about in that kind of film like the cinematography or the acting in that particular script itself.
I'm somebody like it's all. This is why I don't do every single job. Again, these are some of the parts. My job on set is predominantly actors. Bob goes, he sets up the shot because what we do is
have your cinematographer. You have, what he's capable of, what he does.
And here's the thing: we shot list and storyboard everything else. So that way, if we are confused, like, all right, let's look at the board. So we got somebody, fortunately, because I can't draw. As far as I know, Bob
can't draw either. So yeah, if you get somebody that's perfect.
So me and him will sit down. We'll do the shot list. We'll turn it over to a storyboard artist. They'll do a render like this, like that. And then we'll take that on set, and if there's any kind of confusion over the shot or the blocking or whatever, set the boards. And that way it kind of takes out the whole, fumbling around. But no, that's the thing. It's great having, one person, one job kind of thing. That way I know what I'm doing, you know what you're doing, and we all trust each other. It's just one giant trust factor.
Yeah. It's fun being collaborative working with people. I just love doing it.
I do too. That's what makes it the best out of every medium to work in.
And it's kind of funny because when I was younger, I didn't want to work with anybody.
I got that. The funny thing, like in high school, nobody wanted to work with me.
Yeah.
I was a weird kid. Still am.
And then, I was always everywhere I went for some reason, even though I don't know. I didn't seem to push out there that I was a big filmmaker. I just doing a lot about movies and stuff.
Yeah.
But every place I went, I was like most likely to direct porno.
Not a bad job. Not a bad job at all.
But that was a joke because
of course,
direct
of course.
porno.
Yes, you're gonna direct something.
You're gonna direct the porno. You're not even gonna be a star.
Yeah, you're gonna just direct the guy hold the camera
watching them.
Yeah.
So that was the joke. But it totally different people in high school, and I win that award, the joke award, that thing, and then in college the same damn thing.
Most likely direct porn.
Oh my god! But yeah, as a joke. But I could take a joke,
Of course.
and they knew I could take a joke, and they all laughed and went, "We won."
Right. And you were there to accept your award graciously.
Like, I'll take it.
Right.
It's an award.
Exactly. But yeah, that's
From Molly. Gotcha. Which is funny because I just saw those guys. I didn't really get to go up to them because the main guy from Christmas Story, he was like taking photos. He was gone, but I was at Chiller, so I was walking in the room and I saw them. I was talking to Zach Pork for a little bit. It was really cool. But all the the young guys from Christmas Story were there. So I was just talking. I didn't get any pictures or autographs with them because money goes fast in those things.
oh yeah,
And I had to go see the Willy Wonka kids.
of course. You wouldn't.
So I walked into the room with Willy Wonka kids. I wanted to like a Ruka song. That's a classic.
They would just sit there. I'm so sorry when you went through just getting dropped down into that furnace.
Oh my god. So,
It
it
was-
was
it
a
was-
bad egg.
Yeah, Ruby Salt and Mike TV, right?
Yeah, Mike TV.
You got stuck in that.
Yeah, so first I was talking to her. I wanted to talk to her, and then Mike TV's over here. And she's like, "Oh yeah, Mike's because he worked behind the scenes a lot too." So I went over to talk to him. We're just talking, and I was like, when we're talking, I'm like, "You take a photo?" Yeah, cool. And we did that, and so I got the photos of both of them. But I wanted to meet Veruca. I just always liked Veruca, so I'm like, how was her first role? She was just such a nasty, great performance.
Yeah, nailed it. Completely nailed it. But all the kids nailed it. Gus's Gloop shit scared me because I'm claustrophobic.
Yeah.
So that, oh my god, no, just shut up, just shoot that book, just ran already.
As I was walking in there, they had stuff to buy. They get signed like Everlasting Gods, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So they had one golden ticket left,
Yeah.
just sitting there. And the guy goes, "Yeah, that's the last one." I go, "You mean I'd get the last golden ticket?" I'm like, "How much is this?" It's like $20. I'm like, "I got the last," and I'm like, "I got a golden ticket."
Just skip down the hallway.
What? Oh god, it felt good.
Or did that.
It was really cool. So I mean, that was just an experience. And I was talking to the woman who played with the song. She's like, "I'm going to be retiring now in her 60s."
Yeah.
Retire from acting. So like, that was my first role. Now I'm retiring.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. Just you see that movie all the time because it's ageless, and then you see them go, "Oh, it's sad."
I guess no way,
But it was a cool conversation to have. I love how they do these things these days, where you grew up with these people, and now you're
but
talking.
now the
hanging.
conventions and you have such access that you didn't have. I've always said that was always the logical next step for film was you tour the film kind of like what Kev does, but you treat it like it's a big, let's say it's a Marvel film, for example, or a bigger blockbuster film. Instead of like local venues, you rent out basketball stadiums. And you just, $20, $30. You bring the entire cast and crew with you to do meet and greets, photo ops, Q&As. And you bring a couple bands to play some soundtrack songs before the actual show, director intro. Because the idea came from, I'm not sure if you remember this, when the Roland Emmerich Godzilla in '98.
Did the score people play or something like that?
No, what happened was they had like an actual, the premiere was in Madison Square Garden.
Yes, I do remember that.
And it was like such a ravenous time where everyone's like, I don't know if the movie was good or not. All I know is that was like the best time I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, the movie was like Jurassic Park. It was the same thing. It was like
kind of
like Jurassic Park.
There's more Lost World than was Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Kind of point.
I mean, the feel of it was not like Godzilla.
Yeah, it wasn't quite Godzilla. It was an Americanized Godzilla before they listened to the Japanese without thinking about Godzilla. Yeah. Even then, they didn't quite do that right.
But that's what it felt like. It felt like watching Jurassic Park.
Exactly. But that story about that premiere always stuck in. And then, flash forward a few years ago, the reboot roadshow was the first time I actually went to one of the events. And I can't tell, I've seen Reboot a couple times.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
But I remember leaving that theater going I don't know if that was a good movie or not because it was such an infectious time. It felt like the
the whole show.
It felt like it was the equivalent of a band that had not played together for 10 years and they announced the reunion. It's like, guys,
Yeah.
we're not putting out any new music. We're not going to do anything that's going to rock. We're just going to go out. We're all going to play the hits. And,
Yeah.
Jay and Bob are going to have their parts, obviously. Matt's going to have his scene. They give Joey and Ben their scene, and like everyone just getting this nice little.
It's kind of what it felt like. Yeah.
They did, and again, in front of a ravenous fan base that popped and laughed and cried at every moment they need.
Yeah.
And then I'm going like, this is what it should be like. This is what filmmaking, like, obviously you're not hooting and hollering at Killers of the Flower Moon. That's a much different film.
Yeah.
But
it's epic film.
That is. But like that's what
It's-
film exhibition should be.
Yeah. I remember going to now, I've seen Animal House on TV,
Of course.
but they had a thing where it was in Newark, one of those big stadiums in Newark. And I went with a couple of buddies and we watched Animal House on the big screen, and Tim Matheson was there after. And I never watched it with a big crowd. We were dying laughing. We haven't seen this movie in a while, but I mean, it's over, and I've seen it 30, 40 times.
Yeah.
I'm dying laughing, and everyone's laughing. I'm like, I never got to see this in the theater and laugh with all you people.
Exactly.
And it was cool. And then Tim Matheson said the same thing, because I met him actually at Chiller personally last year. And I talked about that. He's like, he loved it. He's like, we should do more of that, because
Yes.
it was a great experience. And to watch that movie years later with all the crowd dying laughing, and a big crowd because it was a big theater, it's like, that was awesome.
It was. That guy's had a career.
It's such a strong character acting career.
Character actor, but like what his, I'm not sure if his first credit, but like one of his first credits was, right? I'll give you that as a voiceover.
I'm not sure.
Johnny Classic.
Really? He was Johnny.
He was
Classic?
Johnny Classic.
Wow.
So again, and he just a varied career. Vice president of West Wing for a while. Animal House,
If
obviously.
you ever watched Burn Notice, he was the bad guy in Burn Notice for a long time.
He was pretty good.
Yeah.
Just a weasel.
He did two movies, Buried Alive 1 and 2, and it was kind of like a TV movie. One of them had Ali Sheedy in it, the other one I forget, but most recent character. They were good movies.
Yeah.
It's so good. He can act, and if you get someone that can act, it's great.
Yeah.
Like he played, it wasn't Tommy Boy, it was Black Sheep. He played the brother
Yeah.
running from hair or something
He's a guy I'm surprised was never a bad guy in Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Like, he's not part of the Adam Sandler crew.
No, because it was, all right, Whitford was Bill Madison. Christopher McDonald, obviously Happy Gilmore. What was after that? Who was the bad guy in Wedding Singer?
What's that guy's name? It's the one that was dating Drew Barrymore.
Yeah. And let's see, obviously, Waterboy was a whole team of
The whole
bad
thing,
guys. Then Big Daddy really didn't have a villain per se.
Not really.
Not really. And then Little Nicky, West Desire. Kind of blocked that one out. And then it was Gallagher. Peter Gallagher was the bad guy in
Mr.
Mr.
Deeds.
Deeds.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm surprised Matheson never kind of, even in the later ones.
No. But he's getting up there now, but
He is.
he's still looking good. It was really cool to talk to him and meet him. Getting to meet all the Animal House people here and there. The little dribble is really cool. That's a neat Needlemeyer as well. He was really awesome. He's a Jersey guy.
Really?
Yeah. He's also the nice,
He was also, was he the master in Buffy?
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
The other guy had
So he pops up in a lot of stuff. One of my favorites is the One Crazy Summer, and he plays like the father, and he's such a dick. It's a great role. One Crazy Summer is the stupid, awesome comedy with John Cusack and Demi Moore and Bobcat Goldthwait. So many people. Cusack and Jeremy Piven plays a bad guy. It's so funny, and that was one of those movies where there's like Better Off Dead people, the same people, and they like wrote it in a weekend, and they just wanted to go to Nantucket. They go to Nantucket to film this movie. They wrote it in 2 days, and they just went crazy. It's so 80s cliche. Like they build a boat to race, and the 80s music, and they're painting the boat and they're putting it together for the race, and it's kind of like the same thing as Summer Rental. It's the same concept, the same thing. Like, let's build a boat in the race and win. It's
like, that's why I love all the college, like the Simpsons college parody, the Futurama college, like, because I'm just like, I know exactly what they're doing, and it's great that they did one on It's Always Sunny, the ski trip one. It's great. I love. There's sometimes I love seeing those beats, but like you contextualize through parody. Like, I just don't know why. I always get a nice little like flutter into the part. Like, goes to college.
It's like Family Guy. Whenever you see that stuff, the pop culture, and I'm like the same age as that, so it's funny, just the things that he brings up and crack out. I think more than most people, so I'm like, I get it all.
Yeah,
same age, so he goes way back sometimes. He's like, oh, yeah. It's so funny. Yeah. So yeah, man, it was awesome talking to you here.
It was, man.
Just fly by. I don't even know what did that say over there.
That's a lot later than when we started. I wonder if we had any. We started listening at technically speaking. I wonder if we could be. Shit, man, I'd love to do this again, though.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, one-on-ones would go by fast, you know?
Yeah.
Imagine when we have more people, it just goes.
Exactly.
Last spot. It's 17:26, whatever time that is.
I think it's 5:25. 5:26.
Awesome. Yeah. We're gonna be going to. Well, no, it's 8:26.
Oh, no.
8:20. We are live, but we're not live.
Ignore everything I just said. I had no idea.
We're taped live.
We're taped
live because the reason why is because we're on. We start at 8:00 tonight. You're seeing us at 8, but we are at the Russo Brothers at 8, so we can't be in two places at once. So you're watching us live, but not live.
I'm going to ask them some very fetching questions.
You got some ready?
Got a couple ready.
I have nothing. I gotta go blank tonight.
You'll. I'm sure once the conversation starts, you'll think of something.
I always get something, and sometimes Kevin likes my questions, and then sometimes he's like, "Wow." Yeah. One time, he just like didn't want me to ask what I asked, and I just knew it right when I did, and he just kind of like turned. He said it, but he like let her from Gina
Genesis Rodriguez
answer it, and he kind of like went off.
Yeah, I'll say this, and just because I know we got to wrap up. The last meet and greet I did at Sonic Castle was with Tusk. It was actually the night after the Die Hard.
Yeah.
And Justin Long and Genesis as well said, like, hey man, great questions.
Yeah.
Genesis goes, yeah man, Adam. I was asking that shit.
Yeah, he did. He did. But then he rolled his eyes when I asked, because the last time we saw Tusk, he mentioned that he was going to do Tusk 2, and he called them up. So I mentioned it to her. I said, well, how did you feel, or what was your reaction when he called you up and said Tusk 2? And he just goes, oh.
I'm sure Kevin should say, CJ, for Christ's sake, we don't have financing locked on that yet.
He just rolled his eyes, and he was like this. But then he got distracted because something was going on, and he went off, and she answered it, which was fine. But I was like, did he just totally... Was he joking? I didn't know if he was joking or like, oh, you brought that up. Like, I couldn't tell.
I
couldn't tell if he was joking when he kind of like rolled his eyes and like, really, he said that? Like,
or he's like,
oh, he brought that up because he was here the last time.
Or he brought that up and he's like, she's not in the movie. Oh, that would suck.
No, but he did say in the story, that he texted them all. Said that.
She better be in the second.
He did say that. That's why I brought that up, because I said he did. He texted them. I wanted to know her actual reaction, because he said her reaction was, "Oh, great." I'm sure she would have said, "Oh, great," anyway, because she's standing incredible.
Exactly. Justin's reaction. Am I a walrus? How do you want to do that?
So, all right. So, thanks for coming in, and it was fun, and we could go all day. We could forever.
That's what I'm saying. Have me back on soon.
Did we say enough stuff about you, or we got to promote some stuff? Do you have some things out there that we can go
on? Just type in my name, on YouTube, and a lot of old stuff will come up. A lot of old, Approximately Yours and Killer Across the Street, both on YouTube. Plus a teaser trailer for Dead Fish. And a couple high school shorts, too, that I mentioned. The Casket and The Black Balloon. So two very, very, very old films.
any film festivals coming up that you're in? Anytime soon?
We just played at the Artist Forum. Quick story, because this was another New York festival. I'm going to Comic-Con that day, and mind you, it is pouring down rain, and I have to leave, quickly. All right, see my brother, because we go every year. Me and my brother. Love you to see you. His girlfriend, love you to see you. I go outside. I cannot get a cab to save my life. So I have to walk from the Javits to the Avenue of the Americas in about 40 minutes time. And I make it by some small miracle, and I'm drenched. My socks are like fused to my feet practically. And I walk in, and there's all these hoity-toity, like dressed to the nines, and they're not dressed nice like this. And I'm soaking wet, and I probably look like a. And then Dead Fish plays. It gets about a 30-second ovation after the film. So I'm like, all right, good, they love it. I go down for the Q&A, and I'm sure people are kind of like,
he's just going down.
And he's just going down. All right, just look. Maybe we'll call security, and if something happens, they'll tackle him and one more. And so they go down the line. It was a different kind of like introduction. It was like your name, your film, your inspiration for the film, and how I heard about the festival. So it was like 4 questions. I gotta wait another 10 minutes because there's a woman on the end who was going through her entire life story and whatnot. Don't know who it was. And I will not know. And it finally gets to me. Adam Seccafico, I directly going to fish. There's a gasp in the audience. And then another 45 seconds worth of applause, and I just went, shit, this does look amazing.
Nice.
So that's the last one at the moment.
Well, but more to come.
More to come. Not going wherever this is.
Well, thanks again for joining us, and I have to actually get up out of my chair and turn it off because I am producing it from over there.
All the way over.
So, that's it. Thank you. See you guys to the next one.
Ah! Phone rang a bunch of times.